You ever watch a show and just instantly get a character, like before they've even said a single word? Well, a lot of that is thanks to this powerful, kind of secret language, the nonverbal codes of clothing and grooming. Today, we're going to dive into how one show absolutely mastered this language to build two totally separate lives for the exact same person.
So, here's a wild thought. Can clothes actually make someone a whole new person? I mean, we all use clothes to express who we are, but can they go a step further? Can a simple wardrobe change literally alter our perception of someone so much that they become a different character right inside our heads? Well, the TV show The Secret Diary of a Call Girl put that exact idea to the ultimate test.
Okay, so here's the deal. On one hand, we meet Hannah. She's a university grad, works as a legal secretary. Pretty straightforward. On the other hand, we meet Belle, a high-class London call girl. But here's the kicker. They are the exact same person, played by the very same actress. The show's whole premise is built on selling this double life, and its #1 tool for pulling it off is all visual.
And did it work? Oh yeah, it worked. In a survey of viewers, a whopping 80% of people said the visual difference was so huge they would sometimes completely forget that Hannah and Belle were the same person. Now that's not just some clever costume design, that's basically a psychological magic trick, splitting one identity into two with just fabric and makeup.
And that brings us to our first big idea. In this show, the wardrobe isn't just an accessory, it's practically a character all on its own. The show's creators literally built two separate worlds for one woman. And you know what the door between them was? Her closet.
So when we see Hannah, her uniform is super simple, very consistent. Jeans, some simple tops, jogging pants. Her clothes say, "This is me, one stable person." But the second she switches to Belle, it is a total transformation. Her wardrobe is this collection of low-cut dresses, leather, tailored skirts. She's not just changing her outfit, she's putting on a costume to play a part.
And check out the variety in Belle's closet. It's not just one look, it's more like a toolbox, with a different persona for every job. A low-cut black dress for one client, maybe a black wig and a strappy dress for another. She's even got a formal skirt suit for when she needs it. Every single outfit is a specific costume for a specific performance. Her closet basically mirrors the adventurous, constantly changing nature of her work.
And that contrast is everything. Hannah's simple, steady style keeps her grounded in her one real life. She's not putting on a show. Belle's wardrobe, on the other hand, is all about the show. This visual split is what drives the whole story. One identity is the person, the other is the persona.
Now it goes even deeper than just the style of the clothes. It's also about color. The show uses color psychology like a paintbrush, creating the emotional and symbolic world for each identity and sending these powerful cues straight to our brains. And when they asked viewers about this, the results were crystal clear. Every single person, 100%, associated the color red with passion, and 80% linked black with danger. These aren't just random choices, The show is tapping into these powerful ideas we all have about color. And the show uses this color theory with surgical precision. You see Belle, she's almost always in black or red, the colors of passion and danger. But Hannah? Nope, you'll pretty much never see her in those colors. She's all about whites and other neutral tones. It's a really powerful, instant visual shorthand that tells us exactly whose world we're in at any given moment.
Okay, but this is where it gets really, really clever. The show doesn't just use these simple codes. It actually plays with our expectations by both using and subverting common stereotypes to build a much more complex character.
Think about it for a second. When you see a sex worker portrayed in a movie or on TV, what's the stereotypical image that pops into your head? The research points to a pretty specific look, right? Miniskirts, leather boots, revealing tops. It's a visual cliché we have all seen a million times.
But here's the twist. The show takes probably the single biggest part of that cliché, the thigh-high black boots, and throws it right out the window. They're like this universal media symbol for the sex industry, and yet, Belle never wears them. By deliberately ditching the biggest stereotype, the show is immediately telling us, hey, Belle is not who you think she is. She's a high-class professional, and her wardrobe makes that very clear.
And this strategy totally worked on the audience. When viewers were asked if Belle's clothing seemed typical for her job, they were split almost right down the middle. This just perfectly shows what the show is going for. Her outfits give us just enough clues to understand her world, but they avoid the easy stereotypes, which makes her feel way more real.
So you take all these things, the different styles, the color coding, the way they mess with stereotypes, and it all adds up to this really powerful effect.
But you know what the most amazing part is? It all works without us even noticing. Get this, a full 70% of viewers said that before they were asked about it, they weren't even consciously aware of how much the clothing was shaping how they saw the characters. It was all happening on a subconscious level. So the big takeaway here is that none of this is an accident. It's a very deliberate, very effective system of telling a story without words. This whole mix of clothing, color, and grooming creates a language that speaks directly to our subconscious, and it defines who a character is and how we should feel about them all in the blink of an eye.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If clothing can be used this powerfully to shape what we think, what other secret visual codes are working on us in the shows we watch every day, quietly telling us what to believe and who to root for? Once you start looking for them, I promise, you'll start to see them everywhere.